Welcome to Yupari Gaming. Today I'm continuing Necrom's main storyline and I have to talk with Curate Caden, and there he is.
Scroot and I uncovered the most interesting news. The Assembly of Masters learned of Master Shelreni's recent activities and has called for a conclave. They plan to strip her of her rank and expel her from the house.
What's the difference between an assembly and a conclave?
It's complicated. The Assembly of Masters consists of just their mouths. The actual Masters rarely leave their towers, and never to meet with their rivals. A conclave, however, is a different story. The Masters themselves are compelled to attend.
And how does that help? How does that help us locate Master Shelreni and recover Meln's Black Book?
Don't you see? When they convene the Masters' Conclave, Shelreni must be on hand to contest the charges. So, we know where we can find her and when.
So, where is this conclave going to take place?
At Tel Hulan, the Tower Hall in Old Isra. As a curate, I think I can get us into the conclave by claiming official Necrom business. House Telvanni prefers to stay on our good side, so they rarely ask too many questions of the Keepers of the Dead.
Alright, I'll meet you in Old Isra.
Curate or not, he'll never get into the conclave bearing the mark of a Daedric prince. Not without my help. Underestimate Shelreni at your own peril. And do not think to just walk into a Telvanni stronghold reeking of Hermaeus Mora. Either Shelreni's Daedric allies or the Conclave's own protections will spot you the moment you step across the threshold.
And you can help us avoid detection.
Of course. Wasn't I the greatest magister of my time? If not for my desire for solitude, I would have been the Archmagister. Unfortunately, my spectral body isn't good for anything these days. You'll need to serve as my hands for this to work.
Alright. What do I need to do?
Return to Telrendis. Around my tower, you'll find the components necessary to assemble a passable cloak of omission. Look for dried hoaxwort, a lamia-scale shawl, and an illusion tincture of my own creation. I'll tell you more when we get there.
Okay. Oh, there.
Wait, hold on. Headed to Old Isra.
I should have made a map. Curse this incorporeal existence! I can see why most ancestors move on instead of haunting their descendants. My mortal memories are much harder to recall than I anticipated. I don't remember where to find those components. Not exactly.
So we came here for nothing.
Of course not. I buried the components we need in separate caches on the tower grounds. I just can't remember exactly where I put them. No matter. With your assistance, I'm sure we can find the right spots.
What do you need me to do?
Use my ghost sight. It will reveal the hiding places. Remember, Telrendis is my place of power, despite Shalreni's attempts to make it her own. Here, I can easily use my magic through you, as long as you're willing.
Where should I start looking?
I placed sigils at the spots, but on a different layer of reality. Use my ghost sight, and you should be able to see them. The caches are buried beneath those locations. When you get close to a spot I recognize, I'll tell you to activate my sight.
Well, that's nice.
This looks familiar. Activate my ghost sight. Has it really been so long? Those components look terrible. But they'll have to do. There. See my sigil? I always liked this layer of reality. Dig here. This old workbench. Good work. Now place the shawl. Almost done. Now sprinkle the tincture. Excellent. Now take the cloak of omission. Go ahead and try it on. You look amazing. Barely a hint of a Daedric connection. I should explain the particulars, though. Not a bad bit of work. You follow directions well. And the cloak looks perfectly dashing. Dashing, I say. Now let's head to Old Isra and meet up with Kirit Gadain. She should have gotten you access to the Conclave by now.
Wait a moment. You said something about particulars.
Did I? I don't recall. But if you're asking about the Cloak of Omission, it can only shield you from so many scrying attempts. Eventually, someone will notice you. But the enchantment should last long enough for us to get our hands on Shalreni.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Now that you mention it, yes. Gadain can get you on the access list, but you must play your part. Dunmer laws are labyrinthine, Telvanni especially. You need to invoke the proper statute to avoid suspicion.
The proper statute?
Just say the following to the sentry at the door. I hereby invoke the 26th statute of the Necrom agreement, and then demand entry to the Conclave. Can you remember that? Once we get inside, we can meet up with Kirit Gadain.
All right. Let's go to Old Istra.
What could Shalreni be thinking? She's obviously counting on the support of two Daedric princes. But does she really expect them to magically elevate her to the rank of Magister? Let's get to Tel Hulen in Old Isra and see if the cloak works.
Why is the statute you want me to invoke so important?
Because you're not a Telvanni. That particular statute relates to the agreement between House Telvanni and the Keepers of the Dead. If you present it with authority, the Sentry will probably grant you access.
Once inside, why don't I just tell the Conclave what Master Shalreni is really up to?
And tell them what? If you even imply that any Telvanni would require the help of an outsider, You'd insult them at best or get arrested, if not immediately challenged to a duel of spells. Believe me, any of those would be counterproductive.
What could they arrest me for?
Do you honestly think my people need a legitimate reason? Well, how about impersonating a Necrom official? Or infiltrating a meeting of the Master's Conclave? Not to mention acting in the service of a Daedric prince? We can't risk it.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Headed to old Isra.
Tel Hulen, the Tower of Halls, home to the Assembly of Masters. Remember to invoke the statute when you demand entry, and put on the cloak.
Know that, Drew? As Master Shalreni's mouth, you are prohibited from entering the Conclave.
But I must warn the Masters.
Don't worry. Your treacherous master will be dealt with soon enough. The Master's Conclave is in session. All other business is on hold. Come back later.
Check your list. I hereby invoke the 26th statute of the Necrom agreement and demand entry.
Necrom? Let me see. Ah, yes. You're listed as Curate Godane's attending clerk. Very good. You may go inside. I expect you'll find the curate in the assembly antechamber, as the attending magister declared the conclave for masters only.
I'll head inside.
There's Curate Godane.
Really, I must...
I insist, Curate. You do realize I wield considerable influence as Master Norvora's mouth.
Of course, but...
I could do much for you and the Keepers. Now tell me, what do you think of my book?
That's Master Norvora's mouth. We need to extract Godane this instant.
The Curate and I are busy, outsider. I am eager to hear what he thinks of my book, Ancestors of a Humble Mouth. It's a work in progress, but at least 2 booksellers have expressed interest. Come back later.
Master Norvora sent me to find you. She requires your immediate assistance.
How strange. As no one but masters are allowed inside, Master Norvora explicitly told me to wait out here until after the Conclave concluded its business.
Well, she was quite insistent that I locate you and tell you to get her spellbook.
Well, obviously Master Norvora needs her spellbook. No master should ever meet her peers without being totally prepared. I'll go and fetch it at once.
Yes, you do that.
Thank you, my friend. Follow me. I know a place where we can talk privately. We can speak freely here. You arrived not a moment too soon, my friend. Before they decided to seal the hall, and I was trapped in that dreadful conversation with Mouth Elar, I found what we needed. Master Shalreni is here, and being held under guard until the conclave begins.
Shalreni here? I saw her mouth outside. He said the masters are in danger. Let's go get Shalreni.
Ah, and now we come to the problem. Magister Gothran arrived from Sadrith Mora to oversee the Masters' Conclave. He immediately expelled all but the Telvanni Masters and placed a ward on the door. There's no way to get into the Assembly Hall.
There must be some way to get inside.
Sadly, disabling a ward placed by a Magister is beyond my capabilities. If you have any ideas, please share them. Otherwise, I fear the Masters are on their own in there.
Merlin is a magister. Maybe he can help us to get past the ward.
A magister? To counter magister magic, eh? Good idea. Let's go disable the ward. A ward needs anchors. Use my ghost sight to spot them. See them? One on either side of the door. I'll lend you my power to disable them.
We attend the conclave. They call them so rarely, you know.
Magister Gothran is good,
As much
but
as
I'm
the
better.
Masters despise public opinion.
Let's enter the assembly hall.
Others gathering without them. Too bad we're not allowed inside.
This is a closed session. What is the meaning of this intrusion?
Now, Gothran, surely such restrictions don't apply to a magister and his proxy.
Meln the Mouthless, a spirit. No matter. I will not tolerate your antics.
Nothing in our statutes precludes a dead magister from participating in a conclave. Now, hear what my proxy has to say.
Very well. Step forward. I recognize you from that incident with the ambitious lizard. And now you stand before me, representing one of my most annoying colleagues. Well, get on with it. What's so important that Magister Meln dares interrupt these closed proceedings?
You are all in danger. Master Shelrani plans to kill all of her rivals.
And Magister Meln thought us so ineffective that he had to swoop in and save the day? How presumptuous of him. Do you really think one rogue master is a match for this assembly?
It's not just Master Shelrani. She has the support of two Daedric princes.
So I heard. Hence the reason I decided to leave my comfortable tower and come all this way to personally take charge of this conclave. The Masters will hear the charges, question the subject, and render swift judgment.
She's going to kill you all, just like she killed Mel the Mouthless.
Is that why you're here? To add another charge to Shelreni's list of crimes? Then so noted. Perhaps that's why she turned herself over without any fuss or bother, so that she can plead for mercy. Perhaps I'll be lenient. Perhaps not.
You are making a mistake. Magister Meln says you can't underestimate Master Shelrani.
Enough of this nonsense. I listened to the concerns of your Magister and heard his allegation. Now we are finished. Meln may stay if he wishes. That is his right. But you and the curate should go and leave us to our work.
Over here. I forgot how boring my so-called peers can be. Pity Shelrani didn't eliminate a few more of my rivals before we noticed. But your master, Meln. I have fond memories of his many antics. That's why I wanted a word with you.
What did you want to talk to me about?
Your master has delayed these proceedings long enough. Master Shelrani reached above her station and must be dealt with. Anything that postpones that and increases the time I must spend in the company of my so-called peers will not be tolerated.
Master Shelrani murdered Magister Meln. He has the right to confront her.
Murder, you say? That is serious. I suppose anything can be expected from a master who makes pacts with Daedra. We really need to strip her of her rank and exile her. Well, if you must see her. She's being held in a meeting room down the East Hall.
I don't understand this necessity for debate. If it were up to me, we'd get right to the vote. Nothing anyone has to say will change my mind about Shelreni. Now then, is Magister Meln really dead?
Magister Meln was murdered by Master Shelreni. He needs to see her right away.
Meln may have confused Magister Gothran, but there's no provision for a dead Telvanni participating in a conclave. It's just not done.
Look, if we don't find Shelreni, there's no telling what may happen to you and the other masters.
Is that a threat? Master Morena led Shelreni through the east door for making similar pronouncements only a few moments ago. If that can happen to a master, imagine what's in store for a lowly mouth like you.
There's a meeting room just to the right. This must be where they're holding her.
Shelreni's gone, but what's that tipped-over bottle over there? That's pure essence of dream. Let me cast a spell to see what happened here.
What was that?
Just a little gift from the Prince of Dreams. Soon, you will do exactly as I say.
You won't get away with this.
I already have. And with your help, I'll get away with so much more. Now let's go attend the conclave. My ascension requires participants, willing or otherwise.
We must get to the conclave. It's held in the Master's private hall to the north.
Something's going on to the north. I think the conclave is starting.
Master Shelreni, you stand accused of conspiring against your fellow Telvanni, murdering Meln the Mouthless, and consorting with Daedric princes. How do you plead?
A Telvanni doesn't plead. But I will kill you all before I take my sacrifice and depart.
Help me, Magister.
Shelreni, cease your actions this instant.
Use my ghost sight to disable the wards and get down there.
Well, I would.
You again? If these fools can't stop me, what hope do you have?
Come on, get up! I'm not ready to die a second time!
You're finally awake. Thank the ancestors. I thought Shelreni killed you.
We should talk, Mouth of Meln. The Mouth of the Mouthless. I suppose you want me to say that you and Meln were right. That I should have taken Shelreni's threat more seriously. Well, let's pretend I said that and move on to what needs to happen next.
I remember rushing towards Shelreni and suddenly everything went black.
Yes, quite a display. She used the conclave to formally announce her intentions. Her spell would have killed everyone, and positioned her to challenge the Archmagister for rulership of the house. Luckily, I was on hand to save the local masters.
What did you do?
Shelreni may be a powerful master, but I am a magister of the Telvanni Council. It was a simple matter to deflect her attack while the conclave dispersed. Then, I stabilized the portal she fled through, assuming you would want to follow her.
Why do you assume that we want to follow Master Shelreni?
Really now, who do you think Meln consulted when he first invented his Cloak of Omission? I see the mark of Mora upon you. House Telvanni wants no part in the machinations of Daedric princes. Just make sure to kill Shelreni when you find her.
What about Master Marina?
Master Morena revealed her inadequacies when she allowed herself to be captured. The other masters survived. In both cases, House Telvanni won. If you plan to chase Shelreni, I suggest you leave now. I'm not going to hold that portal open forever.
So you don't care what happens to Master Marina?
In all honesty, no. In case you haven't noticed, we of House Telvanni are a superior lot. Sentiment and mercy rarely factor into our actions. Now, step lively. That portal will close as soon as my attention wavers. Ooh, and I feel a yawn coming on.
Oh, Zos, please kill me, please give me a chance to kill this guy.
This ancient ruin. Those markings.
This place.
This place is
I think we visited the memory of it in the Eye of Mora.
This chamber appears promising. We should look around. Anything relevant in those papers? Was there anything in those papers about Master Shelreni or where we might find her?
These pages talk about Master Shelreni's arrangement with Torvesard.
She writes about how Torvesard came to her, indoctrinated her into Vermina's service, how he was consumed with restoring something that was either stolen or lost, and how he insisted they find this ancient shrine. Interesting.
And here she writes about the work they did to restore the Vermina statue.
So they sent the malachite mined from the Alavelis quarry here. And she discusses how the hidden kindred were formed to provide the workers needed to accomplish the restoration. Somehow, rebuilding a Vermina statue is the key to Torvesard's goal.
In Panopticon, Torvesard altered Mora's memory by restoring a Vermina statue.
This must be where that original memory took place. Where Vermina and Periite think Hermaeus Mora wronged them and stole whatever it is they now seek. Let's keep going. That restored statue and Master Shelreni must be somewhere in this old ruin.
Yes. Yes.
We must find Shelreni and stop her from completing this rite.
Shelreni and Master Morena. We need to free her.
Ingenious. My black book! Looks like Shelreni got past my safeguards. Shelreni is using the restored statue as a focus for her rite.
You will not interfere.
An aspect of Vermina. That's not good.
Away, agents of fate! This resin will help me restore what was taken from us all! Now! Now, my disciple. Complete the sacrifice so I may inhabit the vessel.
My ghost sight. Apply my ghost sight to attack with precision.
Now, friends.
The
Morena from the
magic
binding.
is unstable. Save yourselves. No! Not when we're so close.
Close my black book and take it. That should end the rite.
Taking the Black Book won't stop us, and one of you will serve just as well as a sacrifice.
No need to involve outsiders, Shelreni. Prince Vermina accepts your sacrifice and deems you a worthy vassal.
Uh-oh.
Bloodshed, but soon Moore's injustice will be undone.
With this vessel, I can enter Apocrypha and strike at Mora's heart. With me, my faithful!
We have to warn Apocrypha. Let's return to the Necrom bindery and find Laramil.
Hold still, and I'll open a portal back to Necrom.
Neither Scroot nor I can feel Hermaeus Mora's presence. We both find this unsettling. Good, you are here. Both Scroot and I felt a sudden disturbance in the tides of fate. Something terrible has happened in Apocrypha, and Scroot and I no longer feel the presence of the one who knows.
Shelreni performed the rite. Blightcrown sacrificed her, and Vermina possessed her body.
Another significant event in the annals of fate, and I missed it. But Master Shelreni is dead, and Vermina did what? Start from the beginning, Proxy. What happened at the Master's Conclave?
We warned the Masters, which helped save them with Master Shelreni when Master Shelreni tried to kill them all.
So that was Shelreni's plan. Use whatever power the princess provided to eliminate her rivals and move up in rank. I am glad she failed. But what happened after that?
We followed her to the shrine we saw in the memory. We saved the master she planned to sacrifice.
And Blightcrown decided to complete the rite anyway by sacrificing Shelreni instead. Ruthless, but in keeping with a follower of Periite. And you say this allowed Vermina to possess Shelreni's corpse. What happened next, Proxy?
I recovered the Black Book, but the possessed Shelreni and the others opened the portal to Apocrypha.
They cannot. Not usually. Hence all the trouble that Torvasad and his allies went through to reach this point. At least you saved the Telvanni Masters and recovered Meln's Black Book. Well done. While I ponder next steps, take this. You earned it.
Thank you.
Both Scroot and I felt the tides of fate churn and boil. Worse, neither of us has been able to commune with Hermaeus Mora since the Black Book's rite was completed at Vermina's shrine. And you say you saw Shelreni's body walk into Apocrypha?
Yes. Vermina possessed her body after Blightcrown sacrificed her.
Giving Vermina access to Apocrypha and a host to work through. They must know where to find the memory they seek, or they have a good idea where to look. Apocrypha is infinite. Without fate to guide us, we are lost in the dark without a candle.
There must be some way to follow them, Laramil.
Blightcrown and Torvasad have ways to avoid detection. Only one viable option presents itself. We must ask Master Shelreni where Vermina has taken her body. Will you see this through, Proxy, before the disaster Mora foresaw comes to pass?
I'm with you, Laramil, but how can we ask Master Shelreni anything? She's dead.
Fortunately, we have two conduits to spirits not yet bound for Aetherius at our disposal. Magister Meln and Curate Gadain. Speak to Meln first. He obviously knows what happens when a Telvanni mage dies.
Tell me more about Aetherius, and why you think we can contact Master Shelreni's spirit.
Aetherius is the immortal plane. When a person dies, their spirit moves on to that realm unless something prevents that from happening. A violent death, perhaps, or because the spirit still has tasks left undone. Shelreni fits both categories.
Why would Vermina want to enter Apocrypha?
What Hermaeus Mora foresaw was always about an assault on Apocrypha. Vermina and her allies want to recover the memory that was stolen from them. But the way she's going about it will doom us all. We need to determine her destination and stop her.
You mentioned that neither you nor Scrooge can feel the presence of Hermaeus Mora.
You know how you can feel the warmth and know the sun is above you, even if you never look up. That is what Scrooge experiences every day in the service of her master, and what I sense when I commune with the one who knows. Now, it just feels empty.
And you think this has something to do with Vermina entering Apocrypha?
Perhaps. We know Blightcrown used a corrupting combination of pestilence and dream to avoid detection in the Panopticon, and he was trying to increase its potency. Maybe the Rite did more than open a path. Maybe it cut Mora off from his own realm.
Maybe.
Laramil's idea is a good one. Master Shelreni has the answer we seek, and I know how to reach her.
Okay, let's talk with Meln.
No Telvanni master worth their weight in Quama cattle would relinquish their hold on this plane without a fight. I have no doubt we can contact Master Shelreni's spirit. Whether we can get her to cooperate, well, that's an entirely different matter.
How do we contact Master Shelreni's spirit?
As the curate can tell you, Necrom forbids summoning the dead. But there's no regulation against the dead choosing to speak to you. We don't have to summon Shelreni's spirit. We can go to her and simply request an audience.
And where do we go to find the spirit of dead Telvanni master?
Same place you found me. In her tower, of course. We must go to Tel Barrow and search her sanctum. If her spirit lingers, she'll haunt there. Though, I'm better take Gadain with us. If she's become a vengeful spirit, his expertise might be required.
Okay.
Meln, we can't just summon the dead whenever we please. It's forbidden.
Yes. Summoning is an affront to your order. But if the spirit is already there...
If I help you, I could jeopardize my standing.
We would not ask this of you if the situation was not dire.
Of course I'll help, Laramil.
I'll return to Apocrypha. See if I can find Vermina while you chase spirits. Not like I've got anything better to do.
Good luck at Tel Barrow, my friends. Return here with whatever you learn.
Dealing with displaced spirits is very much frowned upon by the Keepers of the Dead. I'll help, because the stakes are great, but it goes against every iota of my training.
Isn't that ancestor worship all about communicating with those who have passed on?
That's an aspect of our beliefs, but not the primary component. And it's different when you visit the catacombs and a spirit appears before you. I suppose if Shelreni decides to speak to us, that shouldn't violate the Codex too badly.
Mel thinks your expertise might come in handy if we do find Master Shelreni's spirit.
Indeed. The recently departed are often confused, and that confusion can turn violent. I much prefer to deal with the spirits of our ancient ancestors. They may be cantankerous, but they've had enough time to reconcile to their undead existence.
Okay. I'm gonna end this video here. We continue on next one and go to Tel Barrow. Thanks for watching, and I catch you on next one.